Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is October the 10th, Tuesday. It's been a while that I've had the opportunity of being with Dr. Pandeya, Bhaiya as I call him, and recording this episode number 2 from where we left last time. In case you missed watching episode 1, please click the link above and enjoy the video. That said, I'm going to ask Dr. Pandeya his journey further from when he finished his residency. Good evening, Dr. Pandeya.
Good evening.
How are you, Bhaiya?
Can't complain, it's still alive.
Yes, and you're ticking. Look at your shirt. You're looking great. You are absolutely in good health. So nice to be here with you once again. So if you recollect, we spoke about your journey up until the time you were doing residency last time that I was here. What I would like to do is to cover from the time that you finished your residency up until, being a flight surgeon with the Iowa Air National Guard. So, thank you. Thank you. So, talk to us a little bit about your residency, and then when did you finish? Which year was that? In which department, or like in the IT, we say line of business, did you finish your residency? And then we'll go from there. Over to you.
Well, after my internship, I knew I wanted to be a surgeon.
Okay.
There's something about those lights, ceiling lights going on,
Yeah.
and you feel like you got all the power in the world. So I took general surgery residency.
Okay.
And in those days, it was much different than, or I shouldn't say much different, it was somewhat different because common mentality was that if you were from a foreign country or if you had a little darker skin, you're automatically assumed to be less intelligent.
Oh, wow.
So you probably remember the Tuskegee Airmen,
Yes.
because those days common belief was that black people cannot fly.
Right.
And then they formed the Tuskegee Airmen in Alabama, and they did a wonderful job in World War II.
Sure.
A somewhat mentality because older surgeons who decide who gets into program didn't have any contact with Indian people,
Mm-hmm.
because in those days the floodgates were not open and Indian physicians were not in this country.
And which year are we talking about? What was the year at that point of time finishing residency?
1969 we started residency.
Wow. So, yeah, okay. I can well believe it.
Yeah, it was very difficult if you are a foreign born. And so I started the general surgery, did the first 2 years at Des Moines General Hospital,
Okay.
which is a parking lot now. Like many hospitals, they bit the dust.
Sure.
And from there, I went my surgical residency, continued in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
And I finished that in 1973.
Okay.
And then I went to Sweden for my fellowship in plastic and reconstructive surgery.
And that's what I hear. So you went to Sweden for 2 years to do residency in plastic surgery.
Correct.
So what kind of prompted you to switch from being a general surgeon to a plastic surgeon? Money, or was it your passion, or what was it?
Well, many factors. In those days, of course, you had to be a general surgeon to go into plastic surgery.
Okay.
And even before that, in 30s, to go into plastic surgery, you had to be a doctor and a dentist both.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay, good to know.
But anyway, in my era, of course, nobody has ever heard of Indian person coming to this country and not only taking the slots from the white people.
Yeah, I know. And we're talking of Sweden.
Here.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And then I realized the fact that being a foreign born, and it was nearly impossible to get not only the training in general surgery to begin with,
Okay.
but impossible to get a place to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I had two choices. Either I go to small town Iowa and do general practice, or I specialize to the degree that they will have no other choice
Hmm.
but to look me up for their cases. So anyway, I started to write letters all over the world to get fellowship in plastic surgery. And luckily, I got into two slots in Sweden, in Umeå in northern Sweden and in Stockholm at Karolinska Hospital,
Is that the name of the hospital, Umeå?
University of Umeå Hospital in northern Sweden.
Oh, University of Umeå. Okay,
And
thank you.
after 6 months there, I came 6 months there. I came back to Karolinska, where the Nobel Prize in Medicine
Sure.
is given from there.
Very nice.
And from there, then I traveled to all the hospitals in the city of Stockholm. There are 5 of them. And I also did some rotation at Uppsala. So,
But
fun.
that is great. That's great, Dr. Pandeya. Can you recount a couple few incidences which, when you look back today, you say, wow, those were the days. One. And two, couple highlights. So if you can recount for us a little bit, please.
Well, first of all, internship and residency was a painful experience in any person's life.
Okay.
But I enjoyed that because that's what I wanted to do. And highlights in plastic surgery was Karolinska Hospital was a very busy hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a burn unit along with Uppsala burn unit. And we had more than 10,000 referring beds that used to come to ours.
10,000.
10,000, yes.
That's a huge lot.
So we got to do a lot of things. The other thing I enjoyed there was we had a bunch of, besides the birth defects that we dealt, cleft lip and palate and
Mm-hmm.
prominent ears corrections and all that, we had a bunch of people who were into gender dysphoria syndrome, sex change operations.
Okay, wow. We're talking sex change operations way back in 73, 74, 75.
Correct.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we had very large following. And my chief there, late Dr. McNillan, had private practice, and there was one private hospital in Stockholm. There were two,
Mm-hmm.
but he basically worked in one private hospital. So he was going to work on two sisters from Poland.
Okay.
And he said, need to go and do the physical on them. So I did. And everything looked normal. So I told Beck, everything looks okay.
Mm-hmm.
Proceed with your surgery. He said, well, Neeru, you forgot something. I said, what did I forget? We didn't check the prostate.
Okay. Now that I understand, but I think you know that better what it is. And one more thing I just recollected while you were talking about the sex change operation. So being a tennis player, I think I should have known Navratilova also went through that change, way, way back. I think it was 70s or whatever it was. But yeah, thanks for bringing that out. But yeah, I now recollect that things were happening in that sphere as well during that time. So that was a good highlight that you brought out. Anything else?
There was actually a very famous tennis player
Mm-hmm.
who was a man, then he switched and he competed in many, many games as a female.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. He was from New York City.
Okay. We'll Google it sometime.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it was not as rare as it used to be in mid 60s.
Okay. So in Sweden, of course, the technology from what you saw here during the 70s, mid 70s, we're talking about here in the United States, versus going to Sweden to do your plastic surgery residency. Do you feel that US had better facilities and amenities and technology than Sweden at that point of time?
Sweden has socialized medicine. So naturally, they were not very progressive.
Okay.
but they had more than adequate equipment
Mhm.
and personnel well trained. And no, they were in no way any less of surgeons than they were in USA.
That's good to know. That's good to know, but yeah, absolutely. Uh, and did you pick up some Swedish language or not?
I had to get a license to practice medicine and surgery there. I had to pass the test.
Nice. So you are bilingual, trilingual, quadrilingual, whatever we like to say, right?
If we count all the regional languages that we had to learn, you know, Mathali,
Yeah,
Bengali,
and of course.
yeah, we don't even know where English falls in that lineup, but English is not my first language.
That's of course true for me as well, by the way. Um, so so you finished your plastic surgery residency in Sweden, Stockholm, in that university that you just mentioned. Um, and when did you come back to the United States?
Well, I came back in summer of 1975,
Okay,
but something interesting happened in Sweden.
sure.
Uh, Kiran was born, my youngest daughter was born in Nebraska, Grand Island.
Hmm.
And then our mom, our brother decided, and I'm glad they came back to Stockholm. And then I took them out to a very fancy restaurant in fancy hotel there.
Okay.
And while we were going into the dining hall, this beautiful blonde lady, tall, elegant, very proportioned,
Hmm.
started talking to me.
Hmm.
And that nearly broke my marriage at the table.
Well, when you see a handsome Dr. Pandya in Sweden, what else do you
I
expect?
don't know about that, but beautiful Swedish girl.
Okay.
And it took me a lot of convincing to Vicky that she was one of my patients.
Okay.
And she used to be he before
Uh,
we got done with her.
we men can get into trouble anytime, doesn't it? You know, just at the drop of a hat. And okay, so good. Thanks for that lovely incident that you recap for us. I'm sure it still lingers in your memory. Um, so 75, 76, 1975, 76 was the time that you came back. Tell us a little about your coming back after 2 years or 2.5 years in Sweden, and then what did you join? You were doing plastic surgery as well as general surgery. Oh, excuse me,
No, it was purely plastic.
purely plastic. Okay, okay. So talk to us about your return back from Sweden, Dr. Pandya.
Well, I had double whammy in a way.
Okay.
Not only that I was a foreign born with different name,
Okay.
but they had no idea. Average doctor didn't know what a plastic surgeon can do.
Oh.
So initially, they had a lot of trouble comprehending that we can do a lot of things. We can work on blood vessels, bones of the hand and legs, bones of the face, soft tissue repair, birth defects. So it took me a while to get my colleagues, convinced that I can do those work.
Hmm. And very well at that.
Well, time will be the judge for that.
Sure.
Up until now, I have heard no complaints.
And that's the reason I, cut you short over there for a moment. Forgive me for that. So when I met Dr. Pandeya, we're called Pandeya Bhaiya, in 1994, well, it was November, December. Like I said in my first episode, his name is small, but the designations that he carries alongside his name is unending. Um, and then when I got to know him a little bit more, talked to different people in the medical field, I mean, there was nothing but praises for Pandavia, praises for what he did as a plastic surgeon, here in the Des Moines region, outside of Des Moines, Iowa. And I even remember one of your calendars down over there. I cannot forget that he flew to Haiti. Haiti?
I did some volunteer work in Haiti one summer.
Okay, okay. And how was that experience? What was it like?
Very enlightening. Yeah, very enlightening for what we have here, or even what things were in India. Haiti had nothing compared to what we had in India.
Sure, sure. So that, of course, was also a big eye opener for you as a plastic surgeon as to, how you could go out and help them. And I'm sure their blessings are there with you even today. Something that I will now get on to, Pandeya, is that, I've seen pictures of yours in uniform. So, and I've seen all those pictures. So you did end up joining, not end up, you did join the Iowa Air National Guard as a flight surgeon.
Correct.
Which year was that? How did you get incorporated, or how did you sign up for Iowa Air National Guard, the 132nd, if I can take that name?
Yeah, I know
Right,
that second.
132nd. And what was your day like? And what did you do?
I'll go back a little bit.
Sure.
When I got my green card in Lincoln, Nebraska in 62,
The green card.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I had a greetings of Selective Service Board of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
So I went to the lady who was handling all that in Lancaster County Selective Service Board.
Okay.
I said, lady, I want to be a doctor. And she looked at me and said, well, you got any proof? I said, well, I got big stack of letters of rejection from medical school.
That's funny.
And she looked at me and she said, yeah, you'll make it.
Okay.
So I had a master's degree already from Nebraska.
Nice.
And she wrote down, this guy can't understand any English. So I got deferred, but I promised her that when I am able to, I will serve the country.
Oh, nice.
So that's why when I came back, got settled as a plastic surgeon,
Hmm.
I decided to look around to see what I can do. And the Air National Guard, 132nd Wing actually,
Yep.
was very, very kind to me. They accepted me. So
And what kind of planes did they have?
we had multiple planes, but fighter plane we had that time was A7
Okay.
Corsairs.
Okay. And I bet you flew on those planes, right?
Mhm.
A lot many times.
Yes.
Okay. Any highlights? Or of course, now you're in the Iowa Air National Guard. You don the uniform, and then right towards the end, I'll come to it with this big rank that he got by the time he was leaving Iowa Air National Guard. But talk to us a little bit about what was life like within the Iowa Air National Guard as a flight surgeon, day in and day out. What was it like?
But being in the military, you know that aviators are different breed of people.
Yeah, they are for
In
sure.
fact, some people don't even call them people, they call them animals.
Really? Okay, that's news to me.
Yeah. Fighter pilots are a breed of their own,
Sure,
loyal as they can ever get.
sure.
And after I joined, of course, again, a rare phenomena because there weren't very many Indians in uniform in the United States military.
Sure.
And Air National Guard, I was the only one of Indian origin that I know of. I used to go to all the annual meetings of all the physicians, and for a long time I didn't see any Indian.
But what an honor and a privilege for you to be a part of those meetings,
Oh yeah,
opine on your plastic surgery, and talk to people who, at one time in their lives, thought, well, he's brown-skinned guy. What does he know about plastic surgery?
always had to prove myself initially,
Hmm.
and that was part of the fun of the job.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic, Bhaiya. That is very good to know. And like I said, right towards the end of this recording, I will tell you folks what he retired as, and then in episode third, which we'll call the grand finale, or the final episode, from his the rank that he retired up until today, as we know, Dr. NK Pandeya. So, ladies and gentlemen, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pandeya, you did retire from there as the Brigadier General. That is great. A salute to you
My
for
pleasure.
the rank. I thank you for the service to the nation. And I'm so proud to be calling you Bhaiya. And really, you have treated me and my family as family. So we are honored and privileged and lucky to have.
Well, it
Yeah.
has been a delightful ride, and the friends, including yourself and your family, that I've made on the way, that has been extra privilege.
Thank you for your very kind words. And ladies and gentlemen, with those words, we are going to call it a night because time now is about 6:30, 7 o'clock over here in Des Moines, Iowa, West Des Moines, Iowa. And Pandeya was very kind to give us some time to talk to us about his journey from where we left on episode 1 up until now. And then hopefully we'll meet soon again to conclude his journey where you see him now in episode 3. Thank you very much, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen. And thank you. Thank you again. Thank you, sir. Thank you.